ಕರೆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಹರಿ ಓಂ.
We are live now, sir.
Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru, Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati, on behalf of all of us and also to the entire Guru Parampara, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will commence with the Mangala Charana Shloka. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Sri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smuti Purananamalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya. Hari Om. Last time in the Viveka Chudamani, the Vakhyana stopped at the hymn or shloka number 223. So from today, shloka number or the verse number 224, the discourse will commence. Before that, today is the most auspicious day for all of us, for all devotees at the lotus feet of our Gurudeva, Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati. Because today is his Aradhana day, Punya Tithi day. That is, as per our lunar calendar, today is the Jyeshtha Masa, Shukla Paksha, Tritiya Tithi. So, today is the Aradhana day. On this day, our beloved Gurudev cast off his mortal body and then merged completely with the all-pervading Brahma Padartha. He took Videha Mukti, Mahasamadhi on this day. In the English calendar, if you look in, this happened on the 31st May of the year 2014. More than 6 years have passed. So whole day today, the Aradhana function at Hamsashramam went on with all the same Shraddha, Bhakti, conviction and devotion by all our devotees. One or two small anecdotes here to add. In the year 2014, after our Gurudev took Mahasamadhi on May 31st, sometime later, that was in November, in the same year, 2014 November, on the 3rd of November month, in the evening around 5:45 p.m., some 4 verses I can call. I don't know because I am not a poet, I am not a writer, I am nobody, just a dust particle. Some 4 stanzas or so-called verses vehemently appeared impromptu in my mind, like a visible expression, totally out of the blue. All of a sudden it happened. In the evening around 5:45 p.m., I noted down the time because I should not forget it. I noted down that. Immediately I wrote down that. Now that became, by the grace of Guru, the famous Arati mantra of our Gurudev, which is being chanted in our Hamsashramam. So that Arati mantra I am going to recite and then continue the next proceedings. Deva Deva Virajeshwara Dina Bandhu Pahi Mam Chandravadana Mandahasa Prema Rupa Rakshamam रामगीतगानलोल ज्ञानरूप पाहि मां शिष्यकोटिपूजनीय रामचन्द्र रक्ष माम् सनत्कुमारतीरवास दानशील पाहि मां पापहरण परमहंस परमपुरुष रक्ष माम् भक्तजन हृदयवास गुरुदेव पाहि माम् सत्स्वरूप चिदानंद विराजेश्वर रक्ष माम् सत्स्वरूप चिदानंद विराजेश्वर रक्ष माम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। In this connection, one more small thing. This is really important. I request all my Guru Bandhus, exalted souls, spiritual aspirants, to have this point in your mind once for all. In Rishikesh, in the Shivananda Ashram, after the Mahasamadhi of our Paramaguru Swami Shivananda Saraswati, his direct disciple, Sri Swami Chidananda Maharaj, became the president of Divine Life Society. Sri Chidananda Maharaj, a great realized Mahan soul, a Brahmajnani par excellence. Number of times he has written number of books and given beautiful lectures or discourse on Vedanta. In one place, Swami Chidananda Maharaj writes about the Sadguru, about the importance of Sadguru in our life. How, as a humble devotee, I should continue my life with the help of the teachings of the Sadguru, how I should lead the life. So I am just quoting down the simple but most powerful direct Upadesha of Swami Chidananda Maharaj of Divine Life Society, Rishikesh. Now, I quote verbatim. Don't confine Gurudev's presence to this Samadhi hall. He is all pervasive and moves through you. You carry his presence in you when, Swami Chidananda Maharaj writes, you carry his presence in you when, number one, when you adhere to truthfulness, when you are kind, considerate, and compassionate, and when you live your life in divine manner with humble intention, sincerity, and earnestness. And when you try to pursue the divine way of living, you are manifesting Gurudeva himself. You become a lamp through which his light shines. Hence, make yourself a vehicle of his living presence, so that by your life, others also become awake and illuminated. Finally, he says, move in this world of men as candle, imparting your light to anyone whom God brings into your contact. Hari Om. Now, coming to the Viveka Chudamani. Last time Acharya was explaining, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಭಿನ್ನತ್ವ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಭವಮೋಕ್ಷಸ್ಯ ಕಾರಣಂ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮ ಏಕತ್ವವನ್ನು ಅರಿತುಕೊಂಡವನಿಗೆ ಈ ಸಂಸಾರದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಧ್ಯ, ಬೇರೆ ದಾರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. We had stopped at that point. Acharya mentioned in the last shloka that Brahma Bhinnatva Vijnanam Bhavamokshasya Karanam. to escape from this samsara, escape from this birth, rebirth cycle, the only way is to realize the oneness of Atma, Pratyagatma, and the Brahma Padartha, that is the supreme consciousness, Parama Chaitanya, or God. Both are the same. In simple, Atma residing inside our body, and the God, as we consider, is all pervading outside. They are one and the same. So that's where we had stopped. Now, a question may come in the mind of the Shishya or the disciple that by knowing Brahma, Atma, Ekatva, Vijnana, how liberation can be attained? A small question in the mind. Thinking that small doubt in the mind, Acharya now continues. How liberation occurs by this method. Brahmabhotastu samsrutyai vidvan navartate punaha विज्ञातव्यं मतः सम्यक् ब्रह्मा भिन्नत्वमात्मनः ब्रह्मभूतस्तु संसृत्यैः विद्वान् नावर्तते पुनः विज्ञातव्यम् अतः सम्यक् ब्रह्मा भिन्नत्वमात्मनः. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು? ತು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭೂತಃ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ಸಂಸೃತ್ಯೈ ನ ಆವರ್ತತೆ ಪುನಃ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಭಗವತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅವನು ಪುನಃ ಸಂಸಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಮರಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆತನಿಗೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಸಮ್ಯಕ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಭಿನ್ನತ್ವಂ ಆತ್ಮನಃ ಆತ್ಮನಃ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಭಿನ್ನತ್ವಂ ಸಮ್ಯಕ್ ವಿಜ್ಞಾತವ್ಯಂ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಮತ್ತು ಒಳಗೆ ಇರುವ ಆತ್ಮ ಇವೆರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಅನ್ನುವ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರಿತು ಅನುಭವಿಸಬೇಕು. ವಿಜ್ಞಾತವ್ಯಂ, ಅದನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣಿಸಿ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ is making very clear, by understanding that the Pratyagatma inside, the Atma inside, is no way different from the Paramatma outside. Both are one and the same, one and the same. There is no difference. The Parama Chaitanya, the awareness inside our body, and Brahma Padartha, Sadvastu, Parabrahma Vastu, or in common language, God, Bhagavanta, Paramatma, they are one and the same. So when that is understood, Vidwan Brahmabhutaha means when the aspirant really understands by experience, he becomes aware, again by the grace of God or Guru, of himself. When he realizes that truly his identity is not the body anymore, not the mind, not buddhi, not even organs. So he is the real Brahma Padartha. That is what is residing inside, beyond explanation, which cannot be explained. It is beyond imagination, beyond words, beyond speech, beyond our mental capacity to analyze. So if these things are directly perceived, that means when the person becomes totally realized about his true nature, then na avartate punah, Acharya says. Vidwan na avartate punah. He will not come back to samsara. He will not be back to samsara. After the death of the physical body, which is born out of the 5 elements, when the death occurs to the physical body, he will not take rebirth. Vidvanna punaravartate. Acharya is making very clear cut point here. Straight away, this has come from Chandogya Upanishad. In the Chandogya Upanishad, same point comes in. Nacha punaravartate. Nacha punaravartate. A Brahmavid, a knower of Brahma, a Brahmajnani, a real Jnani, a realized Mahatman, a Tattvajnani, a Samadarshi, Tattvadarshi, all these words. He will not come back to samsara. This will be the last birth of the physical body. He becomes realized while still living itself. While living in the body, already he becomes realized. Totally knowing and experiencing. See, knowing is different. Direct experience is different. Knowing and being aware, already while still living, he becomes a Jivan Mukta. So, such a Vidwanna Punaravartate, Acharya says. He will not come back to samsara. There is no more rebirth. No more rebirth. This will be the last birth. So, that is the point Acharya says here. Next. Satyam jnanamanantam brahma vishuddham param swatasiddham nityanandayikarasam pratyak abhinnam nirantaram jayati. Satyam jnanamanantam brahma vishuddham param swatasiddham nityanandayikarasam pratyak abhinnam nirantaram jayati. In the next verse, Acharya is clear-cut explaining the nature of that Brahmavastu, nature of God, nature of Paramatma. In the words with which we can relate and understand. So what is that? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. The very first line of the verse Acharya is using, straight away he has taken this first line, Charana, from Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಸೂಚನೆ. ಅದು ಸತ್ಯ ಪದಾರ್ಥ, ಅದು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಪದಾರ್ಥ, ಅದು ಅನಂತವಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆ ಎಂಬುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಅದು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ. ಸೊ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಜ್ಞಾನಂ ಅನಂತಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೂತ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೂತ್, ಸತ್ಯಂ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಟರ್ನಲ್, ವಿಚ್ ವೋಂಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್. It is beyond time and space and continuum. It is kalatita, deshatita, avasthatita. It remains in the same way as it is. It has no birth, it has no death. What is that? Brahmavastu, Paramatma Vastu. Satyam. So it is called the truth. The truth, Satyam, definition in Vedanta means which is always eternal without change. Always eternal without change, it remains, neither it is born nor it will die. That is Satyam. Jnanam, it is Jnana Swarupa itself. It is a knowledge by itself. It is the absolute knowledge. That is a total awareness, knowledge, Jnana. Anantam, infinite. Anantam. You cannot quantify and codify Paramatma, that he is only in this place, he is only in that place, he is only inside, he is only outside. Like that you cannot quantify. Nor you can give any attribute or qualities to Paramatma or Brahmavastu, Sat Vastu, Parabrahmavastu. So, Anantam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Vishuddham Param Swatasiddham. It is Vishuddham, purest of the few pure. It is purest of the pure sattva guna, Vishuddha sattva. Totally pure, totally transparent. Vishuddha. Purest of the pure. ಅದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಪರಂ ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧಂ. It is a supreme ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧಂ. It is present as it is. Nobody has manufactured, nobody has given birth. Brahma is the only truth, only reality, only the absolute reality, always present. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ತಾನೇ ತಾನಾಗಿ ಸ್ವತಃ ಸಿದ್ಧನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಸ್ತು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಸತ್ಯಂ ಜ್ಞಾನಮನಂತಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಿಶುದ್ಧಂ ಪರಂ ಸ್ವತಃ ಸಿದ್ಧಂ. ವಾಟ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದೈಕರಸಂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ ಅಭಿನ್ನಂ ನಿರಂತರಂ ಜಯತಿ. ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಸರ್ವದ ಆನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ನಿಜಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ಪರಮಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ
Sir, you have gone on mute.
There was some disturbance, automatic.
Yes.
Automatic disturbance.
Yes.
Some call came in and it was cut. I don't know. Anyway, now I think it's clear. So, Nityanandaikarasam Pratyak Abhinnam. So, this Ananda Swarupa, Purnananda Swarupa, Parabrahma Vastu or Bhagavanta or God is Pratyak Abhinna, is not different from your own self. The self, as we call inside, Atma Vastu, that is not different from this Brahma Vastu. Pratyak Abhinnam, Nirantaram. Nirantara means Antara Shunya. It is neither inside nor outside. It is everywhere. See, that is the point. Nirantaram. The verbatim meaning, Nirantaram, it is not just inside. It is everywhere. Jayati, Sarvatkrishta, the supreme bliss. It is supreme par excellence. See, these are the words Acharya uses to explain that reality, which our mind, this buddhi, can never fathom, never reach. ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತು ಆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲವೋ, ಈ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಂದ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ, ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯಿಂದ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ ಅಂತಹ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕರುಣೆಯಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ, ಭಗವಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವಿತ್, ಆಸ್ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ಲಿ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್, with the greatest mercy on the mankind, with the greatest divine love on the children like us. Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada is pouring out his heart in Viveka Chudamani, trying to explain what is that Sadvastu, what is that Paramatma, which cannot be really explained. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha eko devaha sarvabhuteshu gudaha ಸರ್ವವ್ಯಾಪಿ ಸರ್ವಾಂತರಾತ್ಮ ಶ್ವೇತಾಶ್ವತ. ಸೊ ಈ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದೈಕರಸಂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ ಅಭಿನ್ನಂ ನಿರಂತರಂ ಜಯತಿ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸೂಪರ್ಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಜಯತಿ. ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್. Beyond this, there is nothing. And your inner self is nothing but that Paramatma Vastu only. See, that is the point here, Acharya. Pratyak Abhinnam. ನಿನ್ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಮ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಆ ಪರಮ ಚೈತನ್ಯಕ್ಕೂ ಭಗವತ್ ತತ್ವಕ್ಕೂ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಗವಂತ ನಿನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ ಅಭಿನ್ನಂ. ಅಭಿನ್ನ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಯು ಓನ್ಲಿ. What is that inside us? Same thing. That is Brahma Padartha. That is Paramatma Vastu. As Lord tells in Bhagavad Gita, the famous landmark shloka. Some of the shlokas are very favorite for my Gurudev. All the time, offhand, he used to utter those words, utter those half line Bhagavad Gita shlokas. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hruddeshe Arjuna tishtati. Lord tells Arjuna, look Arjuna, sarvabhutanam hruddeshe Ishvara tishtati. In all beings, inside their heart, inside every being, living being, including human being, look Arjuna, Ishvara, God resides. Tishtati hruddeshe. Inside the heart, God resides. All these things convey what? That is what Acharya is talking here. Next, he says, Sadidam paramadvaitam swasmad anyasya vastuno bhavat nahi anyadasti kinchit samyak paramartha tattva bodha dashayam. Sadidam paramadvaitam swasmad anyasya vastuno bhavat nahi anyadasti kinchit samyak paramartha tattva bodha dashayam. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಪರಮ ಅದ್ವೈತವೇ ಎರಡು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದೇ, ಅದೇ ಸದ್ವಸ್ತು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ. ತನಗಿಂತ ಬೇರೊಂದು ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ತನಗಿಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಹಿ ಅನ್ಯದಸ್ತಿ ಕಿಂಚಿತ್ ಸಮ್ಯಕ್ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ತತ್ವ ಬೋಧ ದಶಾಯಾಮ್. ಸಮ್ಯಕ್ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಈ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ಸತ್ಯ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದಾಗ, ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ತತ್ವ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದಾಗ, ತನಗಿಂತ ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಕಣಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಸತ್ ಇದಂ ಪರಮಾದ್ವೈತಂ, ಪರಮ ಅದ್ವೈತಂ ಸ್ವಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಅನ್ಯಸ್ತ ವಸ್ತುನಃ ಅಭಾವಾತ್. ಸ್ವಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಅನ್ಯಸ್ಯ ವಸ್ತು ನ ಅಭಾವಾತ್ ಸತ್ ಇದಂ ಪರಮ ಅದ್ವೈತಂ. There is nothing different, anything other than his own self, because this self inside the body residing, this Atma Tattva inside, that itself is idam sat parama advaitam, sadidam parama advaitam. This itself is the highest non-dual realization, parama advaita. What is advaita? There are no two individual entities. There is only one. What is that one? Sadvastu, Brahma Padartha, Parabrahma Vastu, Paramatma, Bhagavanta, God. In simple words, always let us remember like that. Brahma, Parabrahma Vastu, Sadvastu ultimately means God, God, God. Bhagavanta, Paramatma, Paramatma. So that Sat idam parama advaitam, the same thing is inside. So this is the non-dual direct perception or realization. This is the final advaitic realization, or it is called Advaita Siddhi. What is Advaita Siddhi? Not by reading, understanding the lines here, taking the meaning and thinking that, yes, I have understood. It is not. Repeatedly, this has been told by all Mahatmans, all Parama Purushottama Santa Mahatmans, all Paramajnanis. Intellectual understanding is not realization. The understanding should come inside directly as your own direct experience. Until you experience directly, that is, till the last veil of Maya is completely cut, again by the grace of Guru, by the grace of God. Only when it happens, the duality mode, that veil is removed, and you stand naked directly experiencing that you are that Advaita Vastu only. You are that Brahma Padartha. There is nothing else. There is no second. There is no duality. Everything is Brahma Padartha and you are that one. Ekam eva advitiyam. There is no second. So this Advaya, Parimarthik understanding is realization. This Parimarthik experience is realization. So ultimately what he says, Nahi anyadasti kinchit samyak paramartha tattva bodhadashaya. Nahi anyadasti kinchit. So there is nothing else. There is nothing else you will see. Anyadasti kinchit. Na anyat asti kinchit. Nothing else is there. Inni ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತುವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ತತ್ವ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಂಶಯಗಳೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಸಮ್ಯಕ್ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ತತ್ವ ಬೋಧ ದಶಾಯ, ವೆನ್ ಸಮ್ಯಕ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ completely without a ray of any doubt, without an iota of doubt, when this Paramartha Tattva is really understood, really experienced firsthand. So when you are in the cusp of realization, what happens? The last step during the ladder climbing, you reach the last step and then by the grace of God, you climb the last step. That is a pinnacle. You have reached the pulpit. So that is realization. That is called what Acharya says, Samyak Paramartha Tattva Bodha Dashaya. So after completely, by the grace of God again, by the grace of Guru, when this Paramartha Tattva principle is directly perceived, ಇದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಗುರು ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಸದ್ಗುರು ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಹಿ ಅನ್ಯದಸ್ತಿ ಕಿಂಚಿತ್, ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಕೃತಕೃತ್ಯ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಮೋರ್ ಟು ಅಚೀವ್, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್. ಯು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಕೃತಕೃತ್ಯ. In Upanishad, detailed exposition is there. Na vidyate hrudaya grantihi chidyante sarva samshayaha. It starts like that. All the doubts are cut one by one. All your calculative mind, assumptions, sankalpa, vikalpa, everything comes to rest. All the samshaya, suspicion will come to rest. When Hrudaya Granthi, the knot in the heart, is cut. Vidyate Hrudaya Granthi Chidyate Sarva Samshayaha. The knot in the heart in Upanishad means, Hrudaya Granthi means the Ajnana. When the Ajnana is removed, when it is cut, you become Krutakrutya, nothing else. That happens by the grace of God and you become realized. You will know the reality. You become one with God. You means, please remember again and again and again, here the you means not your physical body with your mind and buddhi, not your outer ego, not your ahankara. The real you is inside. As a substratum kutastha, nityam ajalam kutastham. So that substratum, that is the Brahma Vastu, that is Atma Padartha, that is nothing but Pratyagatma inside you, and that is nothing but Brahma Vastu. That's what Acharya says. There is nothing else left. You have fulfilled the purpose of the birth itself. Why we are born as a human being? The greatest purpose of our life is to reach God, to reach Godhead. So for that purpose, we are taking birth after birth, birth after birth, birth after birth. So the real purpose is to reach Godhead, to become one with God, to merge in God in simple English. ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು? ವೇದಾಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನನ್ನ ಹೊಂದೋದು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ದರ್ಶನ. ಆ ಭಗವದ್ ದರ್ಶನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಜೀವ ಇದೆ. ಮನುಷ್ಯನಾಗಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ ಮೂಲ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿ ಐಕ್ಯ ಆಗೋದು. ಅದು ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ಮತ್ತೆ 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 ಹುಟ್ಟು ಸಾವು ಈ ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿರುಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. As our Gurudev used to say, never ending story. We are caught up in samsara till the realization occurs. Then this becomes the last birth. So Acharya again continues now with, he wants to make it clear with an examples. Yadidam sakalam vishwam nana rupam pratitam ajnanat tatsarvam brahmaiva pratyasta ashesha bhavana dosham. Yadidam sakalam vishwam nana rupam pratitam ajnanat tatsarvam brahmaiva pratyasta ashesha bhavana dosham. So Acharya says, this entire idam sakalam vishwam nanarupam pratiti ajnanat pratitam ajnanat. ಈ ವಿಶ್ವ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನಾ ರೀತಿಯ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಜಗತ್ತು, ಪ್ರಪಂಚ, ವಿಶ್ವ, ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವಲ್ಲ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಕಲಂ ವಿಶ್ವಂ ನಾನಾ ರೂಪಂ ಪ್ರತೀತಂ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಾತ್. ಕೇವಲ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ನಾವು ನಾನಾತ್ವವನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇದು ವ್ಯಾವಹಾರಿಕ ಸತ್ಯ. ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಮೂಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ತತ್ ಸರ್ವಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೈವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಸ್ಥ ಅಶೇಷ ಭಾವನಾ ದೋಷಂ. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನಾ ದೋಷಂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಸ್ಥ ಅಶೇಷ ಭಾವನಾ ದೋಷಂ, ನಮ್ಮ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಆ ರೀತಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಬೇರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ತತ್ಸರ್ವಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಏವ, ತತ್ಸರ್ವಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೈವ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ. So in this shloka, Acharya is making very clear-cut statement. Now, yadidam sakalam vishwam nana rupa pratitam ajnana. Only by delusion, ajnana, the whole universe, the life, the jagat, organisms, plants and animals, all differences. See, we are observing, we are experiencing. I am different from you, you are different from me. I am sitting here, you are sitting in front of me. I am a man, you are a woman. I am an old man, I am a young man. All these things we are seeing, we are experiencing because of our own delusion. We think this is real. Correct? But what Acharya says, yadidam sakalam vishwam tat sarvam brahmaiva. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ the entire thing is Brahma Vastu transformed. The same individual Paramatma, Bhagavat Tattva, Sad Vastu, it has given shape. It has appeared in different names and forms. There is only one Vastu which has taken different names and shapes. The whole world, the entire universe, the stars, planets, satellites, everything. There is only one Vastu. Sadidam yadidam sakalam vishwam tat sarvam brahma eva. Everything is Brahma, everything is God, everything is godly, everything is Brahma Vastu. But pratyastha ashesha bhavana dosham, because of our bhranti, ajnana, illusion, everything looks different. Dvaita bhava. There is only one Vastu. It looks different to us. The differences we see, we feel, we experience because of our delusion from hundreds of births. By the delusion, we are seeing duality, Dvaita bhava. But actually, there is only Advaita Vastu, only one, Brahma Padartha, God. The same Vastu has created the whole universe. It has entered into the whole universe. It is the base, substratum of everything. Without Brahma Padartha, there is nothing else. Without the Paramatma Vastu, nothing is created. They appear different. But what is that? The whole world, this universe, made up of. Ultimately, when you analyze, you go deeper and deeper in the analysis. With Viveka, with the discrimination, we will come to know that there is only one ultimately behind all these things. Tat sarvam brahmaiva. By our defect in our vision, due to bhranti, due to ajnana, due to delusion, we think everything is different. Now Acharya gives the standard example. Of the pot made up of clay. See, at number of places the example comes in Vivek Chudamani and other Prakarana Granthas also, in all other Bhashyas also, this pot made up of clay, this example is always taken. Now, remember, 1200 years before, you must go back to the timeline. As, see, your mind, when you say some examples of household kitchen items, you always think of stainless steel utensils or the new combination alloy substances. You don't even connect yourself that earlier, thousands of years before, 1200 years before, and even at the time of Acharya, even post Shankaracharya period, majority were using only pots made up of clay of various size and shapes. Majority were using the plates made up of clay, the lids made up of clay, the tumblers and the cups and the vases made up of clay for preparing household items, for preserving, storing all household items. Only the earthen pots were the standard utensils in those days. We have forgotten that. We don't know. So Acharya is taking that common example. He takes the example of the pot. Now in the next shloka, to summarize that, before we go deep into the shloka, ಈಗ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಚರಣ ಇರೋ ಶ್ಲೋಕ, ಅದರ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕ 4 ಚರಣ. ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, 1200 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಪಾತ್ರೆಗಳೇ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಮಡಿಕೆ, ಗಡಿಗೆ, ಕುಡಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಲೋಟಗಳು, ಮುಚ್ಚಳ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ, ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ. ಈಗಿನ ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ಟೈನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಪಾತ್ರೆಗಳು ಇರಲಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದ ಪಾತ್ರೆಗಳು ಇರಲಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮಡಕೆ, ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಯನ್ನೇ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುವಂತ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಆಗಿನ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ. You can substitute that to stainless steel today. When you go into the shloka, in your mind, you substitute the clay to stainless steel. You will get the answer. Prutkarya bhotopi mrudona bhinnah kumbhosti sarvatra tu mutswarupat na kumbharupam prutagasti kumbah kuto mrusha kalpyata navamatra. Mrutkarya bhotopi mrudona bhinnah kumbhosti sarvatra tu mutswarupat na kumbharupam prudagasti kumbah kuto mrusha kalpita namamatraha. In the last line, Acharya puts the question, Kutaha kumbha mrusha kalpita namamatraha. This is a key phrase in the shloka. I repeat. ಈ 4 ಚರಣಗಳ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯ ಚರಣ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು. ಕುಂಭ ಕುತಃ ಮೃಷ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ನಾಮ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಗಡಿಗೆ? ಸಣ್ಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಧಾರಣ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಕುಂಭ ಕುತಃ ಮೃಷಾ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ನಾಮ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲು ಗಡಿಗೆ, ಆ ಮಡಿಕೆ? ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಹೆಸರಲ್ವಾ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮಡಕೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಏನಪ್ಪ? ಮಣ್ಣು, ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣು. ಮಣ್ಣು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ನಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟವಾದ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇದು ಗಡಿಗೆ, ಇದು ಮಡಕೆ, ಇದು ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿದ ಲೋಟ, ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಮುಚ್ಚಳ, ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ತಟ್ಟೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ತಟ್ಟೆ, ಲೋಟ, ಗಡಿಗೆ, ಮುಚ್ಚಳ, ಮಡಕೆ, ಇದು ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು. ಅವು ನಿಜ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಿಜ ವಸ್ತು ಯಾವುದು? ಎಲ್ಲ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣು ಮಾತ್ರ. ಆ ಮಣ್ಣೇ ಸತ್ಯ. ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ? ಮಣ್ಣು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಆಕಾರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ಮಡಿಕೆ, ನೀವು ಮಡಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. ಆ ಮಡಿಕೆನ ಚೂರು ಚೂರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಉಳಿಯೋದೇನು? ಮಣ್ಣು ಮಾತ್ರ. ಸೊ ಮೂಲತಃ ಆ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹೆಸರು ನಾವು ಮಡಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, ಅದು ಮೂಲತಃ ಏನು? ಅದು ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣು. So this example Acharya is giving so beautiful. Logically he concludes. Logically he takes you to the conclusion. You can understand how nice logic is here. Step by step. ಮೃತ್ಕಾರ್ಯ ಭೂತೋಪಿ ಮೃದೋ ನ ಭಿನ್ನಃ ಕುಂಭೋಸ್ತಿ ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ತು ಮೃತ್ಸ್ವರೂಪಾತ್ ನ ಕುಂಭರೂಪಂ ಪೃಥಗಸ್ತಿ ಕುಂಭಃ ಕುತೋ ಮೃಷಾ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ನಾಮ ಮಾತ್ರಃ. Kumbha means the pot, the jar made up of clay. Mrut means the clay, the soil, that particular variety of the soft soil called clay, which is used in preparing the earthen pots, the earthen utensils. So that soil is called clay. Mrut. So Acharya says, Mrutkarya bhutopi mrudona bhinnaha kumbha asti sarvatra tu mrutswarupa. Kumbha mrutkarya bhutopi mrudona bhinnaha sarvatra tu mrutswarupa. That is how you should take it. Even though the pot you see in front of you, earthen pot, it is called as a pot, but it is not no way different from the clay. This pot was what you call as a pot, earthen pot, no way different from the original clay, which is gone, which is the actual substratum, which is the basis by which the clay is produced, the pot is produced. So in other words, we look at the pot, look at the shape, look at the size, we use different words. This is a pot, this is a bigger pot, this is a tumbler, this is a lid, this is a plate, all made up of clay only. But we use different names. So for one we call pot, for one we call lid, for one we call tumbler, for one we call vase, V-A-S-E, for one we call plates, mud plates, earthen plates. So we are using different names. But it is nothing but clay only. Acharya is talking that kumbhosti sarvatra tu mrutswarupa. In whatever way you look at, when you go deeper into analysis, it is made up of clay only, soil, the earthen soil. So what are these earthen pots and lids and plates? They are nothing but clay, nothing but soil. Ultimate analysis. You call by different names because you are using it. For convenience, we say this is pot. We say this is lid covering the pot. See the words lid, pot, tumbler, different names. Plate, different names. For our usage, we have given those names. What is that basically inside? Clay only. Only soil. It has taken different shape. The potter, the specialist person, he prepares different varieties of earthen utensils in his house or in his home or in his shop by using the clay. ಒಬ್ಬ ಕುಂಬಾರ ಮಡಕೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ತಾನು ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ, ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ. ಸೊ ಕುಂಬಾರ ಕೆಲಸ ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಡಿಕೆ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಹೆಸರಿಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಪಾಟರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ these pots of different sizes out of clay only. That is the point. So what Acharya says here, sarvatra tu mrut swarupa. In whichever way you look at that, it is only nothing but clay. Na kumbha rupam prutagasti kumbha kuto musha kalpita nama matraha. Prutagasti kumbha rupam kutaha ವೃಷಾ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ನಾಮ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಪೃಥಗಸ್ತಿ ಕುಂಭ ನ ಕುತೋ ಮೃಷಾ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ನಾಮ ಮಾತ್ರ. So this pot is no way different from the clay. So, kutaha mrusha kalpita nama matra. We are giving different names to the same clay, as we call it as pot or a jar or a vase, etc., etc., etc. Ultimately, it is nothing but clay only. Na kumbha rupam prutagasti kumbha kuto mrusha kalpita nama matra. So, when you turn your vision by viveka, you can understand that it is nothing but clay only. When you simply look at, you call it as a pot. So the outer appearance. So the same vastu, substance called clay, has taken different forms by the potter. Yes, prepared, molded, and we have named it in different way. The same vastu, different forms and names. So the effect, what we see of the substance, vastu, that effect is named differently. You know what is the effect? Parinama. Effect is parinama of the object. Object here, vastu is clay. The same clay has transformed into different varieties. Varieties are named. Same point in Chandogya Upanishad. The same point is well beautifully said. Vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam mruttiketyeva satyam mruttiketyeva, if you speak, mruttikaha iti eva satyam. Mruttikaha iti eva satyam. Vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam. Mruttikaha iti eva satyam. Chandogya Upanishad. What does it mean? Vacharambanam namo vikaram. Our Gurudev was very fond of this Chandogya Upanishad Mahamantra. He used to tell me all the time. All the time. Vacharambanam namo vikaram means all that you see by different names, they are only names. Vacharambanam namo vikara. Names given to different varieties. The ultimate truth is clay only. That's all that Chandogya Upanishad says. Mruttikaha iti eva satyam. Mruttiketyeva satyam. So, without context, if you read Upanishad, you will never understand. You will never understand this Mahamantra at all. What is this Mahamantra? Vacharambanam namo vikaraha mruttiketyeva satyam. So deeper with the insight, when the Guru explains this to you, you will understand. So here in this Upanishad, the clay is taken as an example, as a substance, the base, which is responsible for the various types of objects coming out of that for our sake, as utensils, for the purpose of storing and preparing food, as kitchen items. So all these names we have given, they are not permanent. Their point is that Vacharambanam namo vikaraha means The names, the outer variety, the shape, they are not permanent. They are vikaraha, only transformed names. They will go one day. They will be destroyed one day. So these names will not remain permanent. You take, for example, a pot. When you have the pot in the hand, earthen pot, you call it as a pot. ಕೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಡಿಗೆ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಗಡಿಗೆ ತರ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಚೂರು ಚೂರು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು, ಬರೀ ಮಣ್ಣು ಮಾತ್ರ ಉಳಿತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣ್ಣು ಸತ್ಯ, ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಉಳಿದದ್ದು ಮಣ್ಣು ಮಾತ್ರ. ಗಡಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು? ಮಾಯವಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಚೂರು ಚೂರು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಸೊ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಎನ್ನುವ ಹೆಸರು ಕೇವಲ ನಾಮವಿಕಾರ, ಮಣ್ಣು ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದು ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಹೇಳೋ ಮಾತು. So what Upanishad says, when you have a pot in your hand, earthen pot, you completely smash it to pieces into fine powder. What happens? The pot disappeared, you say. Where is the pot? There is no pot. Logic, look at the logic Upanishad says. Pot was there earlier in your hand, now it is not there. It is gone. You don't use the word pot anymore. What is left out? Only soil, only the clay. Only clay particles. You call that as clay. You call that as soil particle. You don't call that as pot. What happened to the pot? Disappeared, broken, smashed. Is it now in your hand? No. What is there in the hand? Only dust particle, only clay, only soil. So with this example, Chandogya Upanishad makes it very clear. All the names are illusory. This is an animal, this is a bird, this is an insect, this is a man, this is a woman, this is an old man, old woman, young man, healthy man, rich man, very poor person. This is a plant, this is a tree. All these names we have given for our convenience to identify objects. In the world, phenomenal world, ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಜಗತ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೆಸರುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇದು ಗಿಡ, ಇದು ವೃಕ್ಷ, ಇದು ಪಕ್ಷಿ, ಇದು ಮನುಷ್ಯ, ಇದು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಅಂತ. In reality, when all these die, they disappear. ಹೌದಾ? What remains, we don't see it because it's invisible. Part example, you can see the dust. But when the body dies, what remains? You don't see that. So it is invisible. But there is something which is permanently present. The body may appear, the body may die, but that will remain eternal. So before the appearance of the body, you were there as Brahma Padartha, as Parama Chaitanya. Inside the body also, the Parama Chaitanya is dancing. It is residing. Because of the presence of Pratyagatma or Parama Chaitanya, your body, mind, organs, buddhi, they're all functioning. And they're functioning according to their samskara from previous birth. Even when the body dies off, what remains? That Atmic principle, that Parama Chaitanya, that Pratyagatma, that Atma Vastu always remains. So, I am a man. It's only Vacharammanam Namaha Vikaraha Mrityuketyeva Satyam. So, the name given to the body, I am a man. A name given to the body, I am a woman. What is real truth? The residing principle inside. The eternally present Satchit Ananda Swarupa principle, that Atma Vastu, that Parabrahma Vastu is the reality. I am that, not this body. So that is important. That is exactly in this example Acharya has taught. केनापि मृद्भिन्नतया स्वरूपं घटस्य संदर्शयितुं न शक्यते अतो घटकल्पित एव मोहात् मृदेव सत्यं परमार्थभूतम्. Same example, he concludes next sloka. ಕೇನಾಪಿ ಮೃದ್ಭಿನ್ನತಯಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಘಟಸ್ಯ ಸಂದರ್ಶಯಿತುಂ ನ ಶಕ್ಯತೆ ಅತೋ ಘಟಕಲ್ಪಿತ ಏವ ಮೋಹಾತ್ ಮೃದೇವ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥಭೂತಂ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆನ ಸಮಾಪ್ತಿಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ. ಏನು? ಕೇನಾಪಿ ಮೃದ್ಭಿನ್ನತೆಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಘಟಸ್ಯ ಸಂದರ್ಶಯಿತು ನ ಶಕ್ಯತೆ. ನೀವು ಏನೇ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟರು ಈ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಇದು ಮೂಲತಃ ಮಣ್ಣು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ನೀವು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಗಡಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಮೂಲತಃ ಇದು ಮಣ್ಣೇ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮಣ್ಣಿಗಿಂತ ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಗಡಿಗೆ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? ಮಣ್ಣು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಅಥೋ ಘಟಕಲ್ಪಿತ ಏವ ಮೋಹಾತ್ ಮೃದೇವ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥಭೂತಂ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಘಟಃ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ಏವ ಮೋಹಾತ್, ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ, ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕ ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಇದೆ, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಮೂಲತಃ ಅದು ಮಣ್ಣೇ, ಮಣ್ಣು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಅದೇನು? ಅದು ಮಣ್ಣು ಮಾತ್ರ. ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ? ಇದು ಗಡಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇದು ವ್ಯಾವಹಾರಿಕ ಸತ್ಯ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕ ಸತ್ಯ ಏನಿದೆ? ಮೂಲತಃ ಇದು ಮಣ್ಣೇ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಅನುಕೂಲಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಹೆಸರು ಗಡಿಗೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇದು ಮಾನವ ದೇಹ, ಇದು ನಾನು, ಹೊರಗಿನ ನಾನು, ಅಹಂ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು, ಇದು ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಹೆಸರು. ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಹಾಗೆ ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ. ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವಳು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಮೂಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಮೂಲ ವಸ್ತು, ಅದು ನಿಜವಾದ ನಾನು, ಅದು ನಿಜವಾದ ನಾನು. ಈ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ನಾನು ಯಾವುದು? ಇದು ಅಹಂಕಾರ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹಾಭಿಮಾನ, ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನ. ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶರೀರ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು. ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್, ಕೇನಾಪಿ ಮೃದ್ಭಿನ್ನತೆಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಘಟಸ್ಯ ಸಂದರ್ಶಯಿತುಂ ನ ಶಕ್ಯತೆ ಅಥೋ ಘಟಕಲ್ಪಿತ ಏವ ಮೋಹಾತ್ ಮೃದೇವ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥಭೂತಂ. So nobody can show, nobody can prove that the pot you are having in the hand is apart from the clay. Nobody can prove it, that this pot is apart from soil, clay, because it is made up of clay only. Can anybody say anything other than that the pot is made up of? Only pot is nothing but clay only. Ato ghatakalpita eva mohat mrudeva satyam paramartha bhutam. Adrinda, from the paramarthic sense, when we use the word clay, pot, that is only by delusion, by our own illusion we are using the word it is pot. From our phenomenal worldly affair point of view, we say it is pot. In reality, it is nothing but clay only. So from the highest paramarthic sense, it is a clay only. But we use the word it is a pot by delusion. What delusion? This is highest Advaitic. From the sense of Advaitic standpoint of view, it is a delusion. In reality, it is clay. But by nature, we use the word pot. Similarly, the body, I use the word I, ahankara. I means I am so and so. When I say I am doing this, I am. So always I confine myself to the body-mind complex all the time. This is due to moha, ajnana. The real I is different. That real I is Parama Chaitanya inside. That is real I, I-ness. We are not equating that. We are only superficially, the body-mind complex, we are thinking that this is me. This is myself. I means myself. What is that myself? Body. I am so and so with a status, with a position. I never consider that I am Atma Swarupa. So this is by delusion or ajnana. So with this Guru Sankalpa, today's discourse we are closing with a short Rama Vajan. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara.
Thank you so much, sir. This is beautiful exposition, and it's a distillation of all Upanishads as we go on seeing more and more about this. It's amazing.
That is exactly, we are grateful to Acharya.